What's up everyone, my name is Heavy Metal here, and today welcome back to another Black Ops Cold War content. Now, since we got a recent update like a while ago, that since it is October, well, the middle of October, and we saw this, all this Halloween stuff here. So that's today we're gonna be talking about, since it is Halloween, and we're gonna talk about horror content as well. I haven't done much horror content in a while, so yeah, hold on, I'm gonna tell more about, I'm gonna talk more, but hold on, we're gonna wait until this, but since I'm speaking, sorry guys, this is for my YouTube, I'm just talking for my YouTube, just letting you know. Since it is horror, since we're talking about horror, guess who just got recently added? That's right, Ghostface. But yeah, sorry for the slow lag here. Is that the game? We're just starting the game right now. Speaking of horror, all right, hold on. Well, speaking of horror, I'm gonna do some recommendations outside of the broadcast. I'm gonna do it on my recording thing. So yeah, basically, any wondering what is the horror films that you're gonna be talking about? That horror film is from the 1973. Hold on, I'll talk more when we're done. So that horror film we're gonna talk about. Like I said, guys, this is just for my YouTube channel. You can ignore it. You can unmute me if you want. But we're gonna talk about the 1973 supernatural horror film, The Exorcist. I'm pretty sure half of you guys know what it is. If you don't, I'm gonna I'll see if I can leave a link down below for my YouTube channel. Actually, no, we're gonna yeah, I'm gonna leave a link down below for my channels down below. So, and we're gonna go over that link down below is that we're gonna go over the that I was going over the facts for the facts you didn't know about The Exorcist as well. All right, hold on. Alright, I'm back. So, yeah, I should have gotten out, but yeah, in my previous video, I talked about 11 facts you didn't know about The Exorcist. So, yeah, I'm gonna leave a link down below where you can hear some of the facts and some story behind you didn't know what really happened between the set. So, yeah, eventually that's what it is. Alright, that should be good. So, yeah, like I said, if you didn't know, what The Exorcist is, or didn't even know about it, The Exorcist is a 1973 mythological, supernatural horror film that was released on December the 26th, 1973. And you wonder, wait, after Christmas? Yes, right after Christmas. Like, so eventually I wasn't around 1973, but yeah, and I seen some research on it saying that it was released on December the 26th, 1973. So we're gonna talk about that, and you guys wonder, like, wait a minute, I kind of heard about the movie kind of getting rebooted. That's what we're gonna talk about in this film. But what was I gonna say? But yeah, I was gonna record it in my Spider-Man video, but apparently that Spider-Man video did have no audio to it. I realized that I turned off the mute for all the
Show 'em how the CIA does business.
I turned off the mute what's it called? Yeah, I turned off the microphone mute Like, so I did not know that it was the whole microphone was mute. So I did not know that. So I was like, how am I gonna explain it as well? So we're gonna talk about that as well. Before we go into it, I'm gonna tell you guys this: if you really like my content, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications on. And if you want me to talk about more horror content, like all that stuff, leave a link. Tell me in the comments down below if I even get any comments. So yeah, let's get right into it. Is it really impossible that a movie that's been remade from the late 70s? I don't think that would, because there is some horror movies that from the 70s that have been remake as well. So I'm gonna give you guys a little explanation on what is a reboot or a remake. A remake or a reboot. It's a type of thing that was started from the 1990 movie by George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead, directed by Tom Savini, the makeup special effects artist. So yeah, eventually a remake or a reboot is something with a reimagining that is from the original. Like, for example, how am I supposed to say this? Like, for example, how they remake I'm gonna talk about another supernatural horror film, and that movie is called Evil Dead. So yeah, eventually right after Army of Darkness, before Army of Darkness and the sequel, Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn. Yeah, I was gonna say this, but the remake didn't get rebooted. The remake didn't occur until 2013, so that would have been like 28 years from now. That was roughly from 1981 to 2013. And then, yeah, eventually, I wish I had better gear and better equipment to show you guys all the footage and all this stuff, but I knew that some of those footage is gonna give me copyright and all that stuff. So I'll try my best to explain here. So I can't. I almost had it, but I lost it. But yeah, like I said, from 1981 to 2013, they kind of remade the Evil Dead as well, making it like more scarier than the original as well. Well, back in the 80s, the 70s, and the 60s, Supernatural wasn't really much a thing until The Exorcist came out. So yeah, eventually got all those other horror movies from the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, the 30s, or even the 20s. But some of them, sometimes they were scarier. Yeah, sometimes they were scary, but not really a whole lot, because most of the times they were considered goofy and silly, and not like real scary stuff. So yeah, some of those movies might be still scary to this day as well, but I don't really know. But yeah, okay, we're gonna talk about another. So is it, like I said, is it really impossible they could remake The Exorcist? I don't really think so, because I saw one time an article or a video saying that The Exorcist will probably get released sometime in the near future, because some people saying that it was planning on release this year, but eventually due to the pandemic and all that stuff. But yeah, someday we'll see the remake. Well, yeah, I hope we can see it sometime in the near future, because it was like one of the most famous horror movies of all time as well, and one of the scariest movies of all time. So yeah, some people say, or like I said, including myself, I don't believe that The Exorcist is still scary to this day, because it used to terrify audiences back in 1973 or at least 1974 as well. So yeah, eventually I'm planning on my next video, if I can be able to do it, I could make a top 10 recommendations for horror movies for you guys to watch and start getting into horror. And before I continue, you guys are asking, why didn't you make a video yesterday? You had plenty of time, but why didn't you make? Well, it's because I had yeah, eventually I was like super busy at school, football practice, and I didn't have time. I was beat, I was too tired, and I couldn't make a video. So yeah, sorry for that as well. I'll try to keep doing my routine here because, like I said, sometimes some people are busy. Some people, yeah, like I said, are busy, and including myself is busy, and I can't get really focused on. But I will focus more on the other time. Yeah, I'll give more focus if I am focused and not busy so much. So yeah, like I said, I don't think The Exorcist is gonna get a reboot sometime in the near future, because it's like one of the famous horror films, like I said. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna get a reboot. Well, man, we're gonna talk about some movies that have been remade and sometimes they're a lot scarier. That's from the original. So we're gonna go over it right now. So I'm gonna name a few. I'm not gonna name a whole lot until I can make that video as well. Well, yeah, eventually, like I said, well, possibly The Evil Dead was been rebooted in 2013 by Fede Alcada. I don't know how you say it. I'm terrible at Spanish names. Yeah, I'm terrible at it as well. But I'll get more practice. Yeah, eventually, yeah, he directed the reboot, but the producers of the original, Sam Raimi, Robert Tapper, and Bruce Campbell, were involved in the remake as well. So that was nice. But sometimes there is like a lot of references to the original film. So yeah, eventually like the Cheryl demon voice got reference as well. The Professor Kenobi what's it called? The Professor Nobi recordings as well, and Bruce Campbell's cameo at the end of the credits of the film. So I'm gonna make. I think this video kind of takes me inspiration to make another Facts You Didn't Know. And I'm gonna make The Evil Dead since it's most popular as well. So yeah, that's gonna be my next video if I can even remember if I can remember. So yeah, eventually that's gonna be my next video. Some 11 facts you didn't know about Evil Dead, but we're not here to talk about The Evil Dead. That's the next video. We're here to talk about The Exorcist and the remake as well, possibly remake. So yeah, but eventually we're gonna still continue the remakes. So yeah, other than Evil Dead, but yeah, the Evil Dead remake is kind of scary, but the first half of it isn't that scary, like, well, except like the opening credits scene. Like the first half of it isn't scary, and then later on down the movie, they get like half of it kind of gets pretty scary as well. And well, yeah, eventually I wish I had better equipment, like I said, but apparently I don't, and I don't want to get copyrighted for using footage rights as well. For using footage of other films. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not trying to plan on getting copyright here in the near future or eventually, yeah. So yeah, I can hope that I could get some better equipment in the near future. So yeah, like I said, Evil Dead is kind of pretty 10 times much scarier than, like I said, the original. It's because, like I said, back in the 80s and horror movies that used to be scary now like isn't scary much anymore, but it like kind of like except for The Exorcist. So yeah, eventually some of them more campy that are now campy now rather rather than it was back in its release of back of its release back in the 80s and the 90s and the 70s when horror movies became a thing as well. But yeah, back in the 30s as well, before all the horror stuff became scary. Yeah, eventually, sometimes some of those movies, like Frankenstein, the Mummy, and all the stuff, they were pretty much gothic as well. But like, if you didn't know, the remakes became a thing in the UK as well, like with Hammer Horror as well. They kind of remaking Universal's films as well. So yeah, eventually it kind of became a thing in the 50s, but not really though. It didn't became a population, like popular during the 50s as well. I mean, they kind of knew that they need to remake something in the from its original movie and like back until and made it the way they wanted. So yeah, that I knew, like that new remakes were kind of a thing in the 50s, but I wasn't around the 50s. If someone you knew who was around the 50s, maybe they'll tell you. It could be your grandparent. It could be your grandparent, or if it's your parents that were born in a later time, like mine is. But yeah, we're not here to talk about parents that grew up in the 70s or grew up whatever year they were born. We're here to talk about horror as well. So yeah, like I said, Universal movies kind of got remade by the UK Hammer Horror. But yeah, eventually that became a thing. Alright, hold on. Alright, we're back. So yeah, like I said, the Universal's movies that have been remade in the 30s and the 40s, they kind of got remade into what's it called? Into Hammer Horror as well. That's another company that's been made in the UK. And so yeah, eventually that's what it is. Man, yeah, eventually it became a popular thing in the 50s as well. If the filmmakers can get influenced by that as well, then they could do it in their own time as well. Now there's a bunch of I can't even think about which horror movie that's been remake. I would suggest my favorite horror movie that's been remade is The Evil Dead. I'm gonna probably talk a lot more about it in later videos. But yeah, I really like the remake of The Evil Dead. I like the original and its sequels, but I'm gonna talk more about it in my other video, in my next video, which of course. But yeah, eventually, I really like the Evil Dead remake as well. Now I can't even think about what other horror movies that have been remade, but I really do like yeah, I do like the remakes as well.
Assault pack removed.
But yeah, I'm gonna talk about what's it called? I'm gonna talk more about what's my favorite horror remake as well. Oh yeah, that's kind of gave me things too, but I'm gonna talk more about it in my favorite horror movies remake as well. So in my next video, if I can remember it, then I'll do it. If I don't remember it, then I probably won't do it. Just do more content as well. But yeah, eventually I'm gonna do that sometime. And ready to get back into The Exorcist as well. Now, yeah, like I said, I saw a video one day. They were talking about it. A lot of people were talking about it, asking Morgan Creek, the distributor of the movie, and that distributed The Exorcist and its sequel, The Exorcist 3. Now,
That's the last of those fuckers.
so yeah, eventually that's what it is. You guys are wondering, why are you playing in custom mode like versus bots? Well, it's because, like I said, I don't want to talk to. I don't want them people thinking that I'm talking to myself, like on the microphone, which is kind of weird. Eventually, there is some people that have been talking on the microphone that are not talking to them and during their things. I kind of forgot to tell them that, yo man, I'm doing this for my YouTube channel as well. So this is why I'm doing it on custom mode. So yeah, eventually so they don't think I'm weird or anything like that. So yeah, The Exorcist getting a remake in the near future. I don't know if that's gonna be able to happen sometime in the future as well. So yeah, eventually, nah, I don't think it's gonna get remake. Which in my next video I'm gonna talk about more of horror content. I'm gonna start doing more horror content in the near future. But yeah, eventually, that's my conclusion for today. If you really like my content, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications. And then I'll see you guys in my next video. Alright guys, goodbye, and I'll see you later.